Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda. I haven't put my palette together. Saint artist. We're gonna do light application, but I'm gonna do light application with my style because I have stuff, but you could still cover your things and have a lighter application. I'm gonna be using the shape brush. This is a black shape brush, but if you get the silver shape brush, you will get this shape. If you get the gold shape brush, you won't. It won't be the same shape. It'll look a lot like this guy. You don't want that one. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is add my primer. Get a primer, use a primer, love the primer. This is the Milk Hydro Grip. e.l.f. has a really good dupe of it, and get that on your face. Okay, putting this on. I like that I'm gonna start by saying I'm gonna do a light application. That's gonna give me really good coverage, and people are gonna say that's full coverage. It's light application because it's a light amount of product on my face. It's not about the end coverage, it's about the amount of product on your face. There's a difference. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do on the big end is I'm gonna go into Aspen. I have redness. If you have redness, you want Aspen, and you just wanna mute this redness that I have here, and I also have some here. You don't want a lot, you just need a touch, a light hand. I have scarring right here that's a bit red. My chin gets red, and I just go over my red areas. Sometimes on here, you don't see the redness I get above my brows. I didn't tweeze them recently, they just get red. All right, I have redness in this area, but just a light amount. You shouldn't have makeup texture. You shouldn't look gray. Your redness should just look muted, okay? Next color I'm gonna go into is Athens. Yes, Athens, just checking. And then I have my Sunlit as my brightening. Olive is my contour. And then I am gonna use my balm. Balm is the balm, and it helps with hydration under your eyes. Otherwise, if you have dry or heavily textured under eyes, prep with the balm. If I've color matched you and I've noticed there's any kind of texture, I will always recommend balm. And it's not because you have a lot of texture, but any texture without balm can sometimes get accentuated, and we don't want to do that. We want to enhance, and balm helps with that. And then I'm going to take, this is, let's use Frenchie. I have Frenchie down here and I haven't used it in a while, and I'm going to use it on my cheeks today. So let's grab Frenchie. And we're gonna put that under the eyes. This is going to give me a nice peachy tone, but it's gonna cancel that darkness. So I just use a little tiny bit. I prefer using a finger over a brush because it puts it in with that balm, and then they work together rather than tapping in between the two. I like balm, lip and cheek, and then they mix together when I'm giving them a little rubberoo. Okay, big end, and we're gonna go into our main shade. So let's get color matched. Send me your makeup free face. There's not a lot on here. You could tell it's just at the tips of those bristles. I'm gonna start just by lightly going over my scarring for some light coverage over that, but 80% pigmentation, guys. That's what makes this different than any other makeup, and just tap and build, okay? I have a lot of discoloration. When you go light coverage, you're a person who doesn't mind a lot showing, not a lot showing, but just you don't mind the things. And so just balance, you're really just balancing the tones between the things. And having that Aspen on there helps it hold. My neck is lighter than my face, so I'm gonna bring this down. I also have a little breakout here. So we're gonna bring this down, just like that. And I just tap as I need. So again, giving a little bit of coverage over that scarring and having it over that Aspen, it's gonna stay where I put it. And just using colors because of the tones that are there is great, but you don't need a heavy hand. You don't need a lot of product. You just want enough to give balance. And sometimes I'll grab some and I'll go over my, this hyperpigmentation right there. That one, I might go see someone about. This one's bugging me. It's just, everybody has their thing. I don't like it. There's not gonna be a topical that's gonna get rid of it. Let's be honest. It's skincare, not magic. It's makeup, not magic. But just taking what's left on the brush to bring it down, nice. But we just wanna add balance. Okay, next thing I'm gonna go to this fluffier small end. I'm gonna go into Sunlit, and we're gonna go right here to give us coverage, but also work with the tones that are there. Our face isn't one dimensional. Our face isn't one color. I've got darkness, I've got shadows, I've got things. And so putting your makeup on according to those things with light coverage so we're not stacking. Yes, my dear?
Can we use the rest of the stones and rest of...
I can't hear you. What?
Can we have the stones, the pink?
No, let me finish this, okay? We've talked about it. It's still early. It's 10 a.m. Okay, we'll pack for a picnic in a minute.
You're in the picnic too.
Ooh. Okay, small end. We're gonna have a picnic today. It's not picnic weather. The wind's kicking up, and we have, after this, I'm putting on overalls and doing chicken work. Anyways, I'm taking that sunlit, and I'm gonna go under the eyes, and again, a light hand and less product. Seint is 80% pigmentation. I might have gotten interrupted while I was talking about the 80% pigmentation. Other makeups out there do not have 80% pigmentation. Other sticks have a good amount of pigmentation, but they're still about half as much as Seint. And liquids are 20%. You're not gonna find a product that has this kind of pigmentation, and it's $16 a color. And you just don't need a lot. You're really just evening out your skin tone. And you should use a product that can give you the ability to do that without a lot of makeup. And so having that high pigmentation and being able to have colors based off of the tone. If we're gonna even the tone, work with the tone that's there. My skin needs balance here and my main shade, but light reflects off of areas. So I'm going to give myself balance and coverage and even out my tone based off of the reflecting light, which is why I'm using sunlit. Now I'm gonna go into olive. Now this is a more dense color, so I have to push into it a bit more, but it's not pushing a bunch of cream in and clumping my bristles together. And then I'm able to take this natural shadowing that I have here, and I'm able to balance my skin tone with the tone that's already there. And for me, that's olive. It's still not summer. We still haven't gotten our color. And so I'm just using this to give myself balance and coverage, but lightly. And then I'm just taking this small and I'm pulling that brightening out into my contour. You see that? But I have balance, I have coverage, I have dimension. But again, what's key is there's balance and very minimal makeup, and you don't need a heavy hand. All right, I am gonna pinch this and I'm gonna go into that olive again, and we're gonna work with the side shadow here. Not everybody does this. I really like to. I'm actually gonna use my finger because I get a little more control. And I like a good shadow contour just to slim things down and hide my bump. And then I can use the fluffy end just to blend it out. And I blend it together. It's really not a big deal. It kind of helps going into my brows. And then I'm gonna take this small end. We're gonna dip into sunlit, and I'm gonna go right down the middle, and then I'll just use my finger to pull it up and down. Now again, we're working with the tones that are already there. I'm naturally shadowing here, I'm naturally brightening here, and so I'm able to do essentially one layer of makeup, but it's able to give me all the balance I want without a heavy makeup on top, and it'll look really nice and really natural. All right, so we're gonna give ourselves some balance on our cheeks by using our shadow tone on our cheekbones, and we're gonna sit just above it. And we're just gonna come up here. And olive, stone, ash, sometimes cedar, depending on the person, works really well when you have hyperpigmentation, and it'll help balance it out. So again, just taking that olive, not pushing these bristles together with product, and we're just gonna work with that natural shadowing right here to give us that coverage and balance. Again, our face is not one color. You don't need to have so much product to turn it one shade and then restructure it. If you're gonna turn it one shade and restructure it, you're putting a lot of product on your face. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more brightening right in this area, and you get to build and make this what you want. But a light coverage is key for a lot of people. They're like, I don't want a bunch of makeup on. Don't do you. My kids are doing them right now. They're being loud. We took their iPads away. Okay, they were driving me crazy. iPads drive me crazy. Okay, here's my two blushes because I like a pink. I've got Frenchie, and I have, I believe this is Baby Watermelon. I love this pink, especially going into spring. But because I have scarring, I use Frenchie on my apples, right here and right here. And then I'm just gonna take that Baby Watermelon, I'm gonna pop that up here. If you like a natural flushness. Now what's nice is these palettes, you can customize whatever you want. Okay, I'm gonna take that big end and I'm just gonna tap into that pink and I'm gonna bring it down. I like mine up high so it looks more flush, but having this nice little bit of flushness isn't gonna make it heavy, but they're foundational coverage also. Foundational coverage also, so you're not, that's why you don't need to turn your whole face one color. And so this is just a nice light coverage. I'm gonna use a favorite lip combo. It's not Seint. My kids, they're very excited. This is Wherever Walnut. This is by Makeup Forever, and I'm gonna line my lips. It helps with my straw lines. Creates a nice little barrier, and I'm gonna line the lip. I love a good lip color though, and I like a neutral lip. Okay, on my eyes I have Leo and Midnight. It's been a favorite. It goes together like peanut butter and jelly, like I always say, cool and warm. Okay, this is a Beauty Society lipstick that I got sent. It's called Smitten. I'm not sure if it's available, so I'm sorry. But they have really pretty matte lipsticks. They remind me of MAC. And I'm just gonna put that on. It's a nice bright pink to go with that brown. And I just put it on the bottom lip. What you do with your lips with your light coverage is entirely up to you. There's lots of people who go makeup free and wear red lips. So I like having maybe light coverage on my face with the maximum amount of coverage. And then I get a nice neutral lip. So pretty. And then I'm gonna take a Bare Minerals lip gloss. This is the color Serenity. Just for a little moisture. And I just put a little bit on my bottom lip here in the middle. And then I rub it together. I like there to be a little bit of a sheen and some hydration. And I always use my finger to spread rather than the lip smosh. Anyway, let's set our makeup. I'm gonna use my Blue Marble and give that a little set. I'm going to take a loose powder. This is by Laura Mercier. I do really like this one. That's how I'll do it. If there's any on the lid, that's your product. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush. Any fluffy brush works, so don't worry, and smash it into the brush, tip it upside down and let it fall into the brush. That way you'll use all the product, okay? And I always start out here, and I have oily skin, and so I need this preset, plus when I get a phone call, I always mess up my cheeks. So I'm gonna set my cheeks right here, right here. So think about how and where you touch your face, but start on the outside where you have the least amount of texture. And for me, it's here. Then I get my cheeks for the phone, and then I bring it to my high oily areas when it feels like my brush could be empty, but we tapped it down so it is still in there, like glitter. But this is my light application. Now, for some people, they'll say, that looks like full coverage, that looks like your makeup every day. It may, but I have less product on my face than any other thing, and using the shape brush is key. This brush, if you get the gold, it will not have this round shape. It's going to have a long shape. Get the silver, mine's black, it's an artist thing, but get the silver shape brush and you will get this nice domey shape, and you'll get this really nice, long, small, fluffy, and that will give you your light coverage. And you can, if you feel like you need to add more, add more. This is 80% pigmentation, and you can make this however you want, but this is a good makeup. This is gonna give you that full coverage, that light coverage. It's not about changing the makeup to get your full coverage, it's about changing your brush. Having a fluffy brush is going to help you have lighter coverage. Having a denser brush is going to give you fuller coverage. It's not the makeup that needs to change, it's the brush, especially when you're working with Seint. I like a makeup that can go both ways. It can be your light, it can be your full, it can be both, just depending on the brush. But that's it. Have a great day.